Enable East is quite an unusual organisation. We are very fortunate to have links. We're part of an NHS trust, which is interesting because it makes us part of the public sector. We also have a link with Professor David Shaw, who's taught at Harvard and also is an international expert in many of the areas that are relevant to what we do, which is supporting, making improvements actually happen, supporting change to actually happen.
One of the challenges we find of change is that even when it's successful in its launch, it's often not successful in realizing benefits long term. So much of my work has been around that and about working with their constituency groups, such as the lottery projects, the charities, the social care groups, for them to better understand some of the things that make a higher performing organization.
The NHS and the local authority, we're integrating as much as we can. We're working together. We've got 5 CCGs across Essex, and in every area they have got different needs, and they need different local charities to work with residents.
The challenge has been that not only aren't organizations very effective in making change happen, but nor are individuals. We see very, very high rates in mental health, in particular of recovery not sustaining itself, of people coming back as frequent flyers or revolving door customers, and that's bad health care. It's also very costly health care.
So our portfolio is made up of a mixture of different types of projects. We've got some projects that have delivered opportunities at quite a high level, so health check opportunities. We ran an East of England Wellbeing show. We have a major portfolio project called Bounce, which is offering an opportunity for a large number of people to engage with us, to look at the sorts of things they can do to improve their well-being, healthier eating, physical activity, mental well-being. But most importantly, to identify a goal and to put together, if you like, a plan to achieve that goal that has some chance of succeeding. We then have our local community projects who provide the real depth of opportunity to people to really become engaged and to really work through and to deliver the much wider set of outcomes that we're hoping to achieve.
We're working with a whole series of isolated rural independent mental health and wellbeing projects across the county of Lincolnshire.
We were involved with Enable East on the project, where we have to deliver 3 road shows, one in Ipswich, the second one was in Colchester, and the third one was in Kings Lane, and that way we were covering Suffolk, Essex and Norfolk, and that's what the thing is. So our job was to arrange the roadshow with different service providers, especially health well-being related service providers, and we are a community-based organisation, so we have an access to quite a lot of wider communities.
We run the Fit Eaters project, which is a 6-week project with special needs schools around Essex and Suffolk, and on the 7th week we invite the parents back in to come and be involved. It's a project which involves physical activity and healthy eating with special needs children.
One of the opportunities that we had in developing our portfolio was the opportunity to link the work that we were doing, funded by the Big Lottery Fund, to other things that we're doing through Enable East. We've been working with armed forces families, with looked after children, with statutory sector providers, providing NHS services, local authority care as well. And we were very well aware that there was also a need to focus on well-being and prevention, if you like, trying to promote the idea about resilience.
Over the period of the felt making programme, they've gone back to their doctors and say, on these days, can we come off our medicine so that we can actually feel and actually remember what we're doing? And so these 3 women now, at the agreement of their GPs, don't take their meds on Monday afternoons, and they come along and they really engage and feel comfortable, and that they and recall and remember because that wasn't always the case.
It's always challenging for us, to involve them or get them aware about the mental health services, because it's like, this is a very, we have always been saying that this is a very Western concept, and getting a person to understand the importance of mental health well-being is extremely challenging for us. If it is especially dealing with the migrant community, some people, this structure of NHS, it does not exist in their country. We have noticed that at least people are not calling in 999 or going straight into hospital. So it's directly affecting the budgets of the hospital,
And one of the kids actually lost weight since we've been in, and they've been on a weight management programme the whole entire time they're at school, and nothing's changed, so that was quite pleasing.
CHAPS is a charity for men's health. That is a project that is an area that's very difficult to get into, and I think they're making great strides into this area.
But I think the other thing is that we're trying to really help them to develop, to understand that they need to engage with commissioners and work together to work out how they can help to deliver the outcomes that future commissioners might want.
I'd like to see them upskilled, and that's what I've seen today. They've done a really good job in encouraging them, showing them how to make themselves more proficient, how to make themselves more attractive to commissioners.
It's really good because it tells you, slowly and steadily, like he said, there will be a lot of resistance from certain people, but how do you manage that? How do you get over these problems? So if we can plan it strategically to get over those things.
We've also just produced a mid-term report, if you like, and commissioners have been very impressed with this. They've said that actually compared to other providers, what our projects are able to do as a benefit of being part of a big lottery-funded portfolio of projects is to really demonstrate their effectiveness through measured outcomes. So I think we're really working with these local organisations to help them to become very smart, if you like, at actually being clear about what it is that they have to offer and what they can deliver for commissioners in the future.
Basically our role is to be the public voice for disability and young people, and getting across their problems and things that hopefully influence the CCG to put in place which isn't already in place, or things that need to be improved.
There's another project we're working on in Lincolnshire, and that's with the Lincolnshire Partnership NHS Trust, and we're working with them very closely, and there's a synergy between the two portfolios, and ultimately what we're doing is bringing this this predominantly isolated rural community of Lincolnshire together through hopefully the creation of a county-wide mental arts festival.
That's how I really appreciate that concept of involvement in the community and integrating the people, because you can only get rid of your inhibitions once you are in that space, So it has definitely changed my life, and volunteering on the roadshows was like a phenomenal experience for me. Because there was so much happening, there were so many things which were happening. We were coordinating, we were right there from morning till evening, setting up the marquees and putting up the displays. Everything was, you can only feel enthusiastic about it. Nobody can be dull and like this and do all that.
From an NHS point of view, they concentrate on what people can't do. So from disability side of, they're like, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. Whereas we go in and concentrate on what they can do and use their abilities to the maximum. So instead of saying he can't run, we'll concentrate on what he can do. So he can join in, use his arms, use his head, use his body.
But I suppose with social value, and the whole idea of social value now, procurement and commissioning officers are more aware of the opportunity that and the responsibility they have when considering a tender or an application or a commission, to look at the social value of that tender, not just the so-called best value.
A lot of them aren't comfortable anyway using the hospitals because they've had bad experiences, or they don't feel they're listened to, or they can't communicate properly. So I think they feel us more like a bit of a safety net.
We also have tried to engage some of the best knowledge that there is around the benefits of strategic marketing.
They've done it with the wellness program around Bounce, and they've had a series of collateral things that all reinforce the brand positioning. One of the things you want to do with brands is at every touch point you want to reinforce the positioning.
The strategic marketing is a very good point. If a charity presents itself well and can show us that they're going to go out into the community and find the people that need help and care, then they're far more likely to get to the top of our list. And I would certainly like to have a closer involvement with them in the future, especially if they have some more money, and we can perhaps see what projects across Essex they could help with.